Testing 1, 2.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Entrepreneur
Badass
Podcast, your source for taking charge of your life and business like a boss.
I'm Cori, your go-to real estate and business attorney, also running a couple of side hustles in business and travel.
And I'm Chelsea, your tax boss, content creator, and restaurateur. We've both built million-dollar businesses, and we're here to share what we've learned along the way.
That's right. We're all about helping you grow, not just your business, but yourself too, and doing it your way, because being an entrepreneur is all about being a true badass.
So buckle up, grab your hustler spirit, and let's dive into building your business like the unstoppable force that you are. Welcome back to Entrepreneur
Badass.
Cori, why don't you tell us about the hustler spirit of the week?
Okay, today we are featuring an amazing Zinfandel from our friends at Pure Noir. They are an amazing Black power couple, an attorney I know well. I've loved to see their brand grow. So if you're in Houston or you just want to order their wine online, it's an award-winning Zinfandel. You have to try it. And they have a tasting room right here in Houston.
I love going there. It's amazing. They have really great wine. So cheers.
Cheers.
The name of this one is called State of Zen. State of Zen. State of Zen.
And can we say that entrepreneurs need this, especially with everything going on with the markets, with our businesses, with our personal lives? It's just really hard to keep that balance, that peace. And so today we wanted to share a little bit about our whys, how we kind of keep it all focused and together and moving as seamlessly as we can. So Chelsea, why don't you tell me a little bit about your why? Like, the hustle's hard, it's so many ups and downs and bumps and bruises along the way. What keeps you in the game as far as being an entrepreneur?
So honestly, many may not know this, but I've been a parent for a majority of my life. So when I was 18 years old, I had my first child, and he will be 14 years old on Friday. And being a young mother is not easy. You have a lot of different, not only a statistical standpoint, but just people know that it's just not an easy thing to do, to raise children. So for me, I don't know where I would be if it were not for them, because they really gave me that extra push and that extra drive to turn it up, because you cannot play when you have kids. It gives you a sense of responsibility, and you have to provide stability.
Yeah.
So for me, I knew me making $1,000 every 2 weeks was just not gonna get it when daycare was $1,000 a week for 2 kids, right? Because I had 2 children. One is 14 this week, and the other is 12.
Yeah.
So I had 2 kids in diapers, 2 kids in daycare, and Mama had to make it happen.
Mama got to make it happen.
If nobody make it happen, Mama got to make it happen.
So true. And we actually have a very similar story. I was in college, so just a little bit older. I was 21. Daughter came, and I got my college degree, but what are they paying?
Right.
And how is that little baby check when you're a new graduate going to do for the big time bills you have? Right. I didn't have a little kid's life, if you would. Yeah. I had a kid that needed support, that needed, daycare, which is a whole nother responsibility. And you know what? It gives you that everyday motivation. Instead of it being like off and on, or you do it when you feel like it, or when opportunity presents itself, you are making the opportunities.
Right.
It's not waiting.
It is nothing like your children asking you for something and you have to respond back no, or you have to wait, because we want to give our children the world. Like, I want to make sure that they have everything that they need. And I knew at that moment that, I was not going to be able to not give them things because I couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
So, girl, I've always had a side hustle. I was working a job, whether I was working, for someone or working for myself. It was always me trying to figure out ways to bring in extra money so that I can afford, things that they needed.
And that's such an important point, because we forget, like, sometimes your job is just not going to cut it.
No.
So you have to spend your spare time. I started in real estate. I had a prime-time job, but I started in real estate because it gave me the flexibility. I could do it at night. I could do it when the kids were sleeping. I could find clients that could work with my time schedule. And so you get a taste of that flexibility and the ability to kind of set your own pace. Like however hard you work is how much money you're going to make. And it's kind of addictive.
Yeah, that's true. When you start getting a little $100 and the $200 and the $400, you're like, okay, this is extra. This is, this helps.
It feels good.
It feels good. And then I remember, saying, well, if I did this full time, instead of in the meantime or in between time, maybe I can make the thousands and the 2,000.
You start thinking how you can flip it. How can you keep it going? So if your kids are such an important part of it, the challenge is we don't work a 9 to 5, right? Sometimes you may have to work 80 hours in a week, and then sometimes you can take a week-long vacation. But you do have to be mindful about balance, because if not, you may be successful, but then your kids feel neglected, they feel estranged, they feel like you've put work first. So how do you keep it all in balance?
As a mother that's a business owner, I have to go about things a total different way than most. Mm-hmm. Time management for me is essential. Mm-hmm. I do not waste time. I do not play around. I get on my children. Like, they know it's a timer going. In the morning, y'all got this amount of time, and if y'all make me late or we're not on schedule, it's a problem, because you have to be on top of your time management, because if not, the day will go by and you won't be able to get anything done. Yeah. So having that balance and knowing, okay, this time is designated for this time is for this time is for that, is very, very important. I am a very calendar girl. Mm-hmm. Every day, I have a calendar. I know what I'm doing at every moment of the day. Yeah. Because if I don't, then I'm going to miss my nail appointment. I'm going to miss my hair appointments. I'm going to miss football games. I'm going to miss practice because I don't have things lined up in order. Yeah.
And I think you also have to when to start, because a lot of times we assume that we always will have more time. So when you calendar it, not only do you have a start, so okay, I fit this into my day, you have a stop. Yeah. Because you have to give yourself that balance. You have to, just like you're building in time to take care of your staff or your clients, you have to have time to take care of your kids and to take care of yourself.
For sure.
Because you cannot pour from an empty cup.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, my day typically starts when my kids' day starts. That's the thing about being a mother. Your schedule is your children's schedule. If they start school at 8 o'clock, your day starts at 6 a.m. Yeah. You're up, you're pumping, you're getting ready. When you drop them off, you like, from this time to this time, this is how much time I have to hustle and do what I need to do, or deal with business stuff, or whatever the case might be. And then when school is out for them, when practice is out for them, it's time to go home and do your motherly duty.
And the things that they need.
Yeah.
But sometimes I think a lot of people are afraid because they get so comfortable in that 9 to 5 that they don't, you just know, when I clock out, I'm off. And we don't have that same luxury. A lot of times it's, okay, you're focused on your kids. And then when they go to sleep, you're starting a whole nother round of trying to get things done, trying to calendar things, or even just planning out your day. So if someone is thinking about entrepreneurship, like, how do you say you tackle that, just not getting engulfed in making sure your business is okay?
Sorry for the pause.
No, it's a hard question. I know when I have to think about how am I going to get all of it done? And a lot of times, I feel like it's impossible. I cannot get all of this done in a day. That's where the work-life balance is just giving myself grace. Just to say, it's okay if you don't finish this, or we'll do it tomorrow. Or maybe that's the little key or the little clue I needed to say, maybe I need to hire somebody to handle some of this stuff, or I'm overwhelmed. But it's okay to just say, I don't have it all. I cannot do it all in a day.
So for me, on my schedule, I max out 4 to 5 tasks. I do not go over, that, because I feel like that's realistic. And that gives me time in between. Because how many times have you forgotten to eat lunch? How many times
plan to eat lunch?
Right. I do. I plan my lunchtime. I'm like, look, from this time to this time, you need to be eating something. Now, you may not need a full hour. You might grab something real quick, but you need to eat something. Yeah. So for me, I really do stick to my schedule, and I don't schedule unrealistically. I'm not going to schedule a meeting at 1, knowing that I have to be at the gym at 2:30. Yeah. Because why would I rush my meeting when I don't have to? Yeah. Like, that's the type of stuff that makes you feel overwhelmed when you start doing unrealistic shit.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I think we all have a tendency to think we could get more accomplished than we can in a day. That really what makes sense. Like if you time out your day and you know, okay, you put the gym right behind the meeting, but you know, in traffic, it might take 30 minutes to get to the gym. You need to change. You need to do this. Like sometimes you just have to give yourself a dose of like reality. Like
I map
give yourself
all that
a
out.
reality.
Traffic. Girl, everything. I'm like, okay, I'm putting 30 minutes to 45 minutes between each task. I put the addresses in. So Siri, my homegirl, she gonna let me know it's gonna take you 12 minutes to get here. And I'm like, okay, cool, smooth sailing. Because I hate to be late. I feel like when I'm late, I'm off task. I'm rushing, I'm hustling, I'm bustling, I'm trying to get stuff together. You know, so I just think you have to be realistic. If you get off work at 5 o'clock, don't set a 5:30 appointment. Set a 6 o'clock appointment. That way it gives you time to commute, to wind down, to think, to, you know, gather yourself. And then, you know, you could do what you need to do.
Yeah. Well, I think sometimes like all of these things, the work-life balance, part of that is part of the why. Like it started off with the kids and it, for me, has grown into, yes, I want to be a provider for my children, but I also want to teach them that kind of the world is yours. You know, whatever you dream and whatever you reach and work for, you can have. And so some of it is just like, you want to teach your kids those lessons, but this is the proof. I am the proof that you can have something even more than you think. You at 18 and me at 21, thinking about where we were going to be years later, it probably seemed like impossible. You know, like I'll never have that. If I could just pay my bill, pay my rent, pay for daycare, I'll be happy. And then the bigger the mountains you climb, the more you're like, no, I really can conquer a bigger mountain. And it doesn't matter that I'm Black or young or a woman. I can have what I want. So all that being said, what do you want now? Like where are your goals now?
At this point, I just want to continue to master the art of balance. Like, you know, my children are getting older, and as they get older, they require more of your time, more of the commitment. Like my son, he's in AAU basketball. My daughter wants to get into club volleyball. Now that stuff requires travel, money,
a lot of money,
time,
a lot of
you
money.
know. And now I feel like early on, I've built what I have at this point. So now I can take a step back, and actually enjoy these things with them. And that is what is important to me, to make sure that I'm continuing to be present. Because as an entrepreneur and owning a restaurant, sometimes the building might be on fire and I just gotta stop what I'm doing and run over there. And my children are really great at being understanding, but I would hate for it to be a situation where, you know, my son is playing in a championship game and mama's running out the door because I'm having to put out fires. So for me, I want to continue to put people in place to be able to handle those tasks so that I can be fully present in these times, because they need me to be there. I don't know if you've ever been playing in a game and you look up in the stands and you see nobody in the stands for you.
Your mom.
And you like, golly, what happened? Like mom might say, oh, babe, I had to work late. You like, oh, okay, mom, I get it. But really and truthfully, you feel let down.
You're disappointed.
I don't ever want my kids to feel like mom is not showing up for me, regardless of what I chose to be or do in life.
Yeah, I think that freedom is, to me, one of the biggest benefits of being an entrepreneur, because the more you master it, the more you're like, okay, I'm cutting off, and I have not just financial freedom, but even more importantly, time freedom. Yeah, I may still have to work, but I could work from a beach. I could work from a resort in Arizona. I could, you know, set my own terms to it. Now, that doesn't mean it's any less of a requirement, but you are setting the terms of the requirement. And I like the idea of building a community, of helping clients, of like, you know, there are a lot of things that you deliver that if you're just a cog in the wheel, you can't see everything that you're giving to people. You know, you have a restaurant, but feeding people is a love language, right?
It is. I always tell people that I am touching people without having to touch people. Like, to hear people, you know, I get messages all the time. Like, I got one a few days ago, and this guy was like, I'm leaving the airport, and my Uber driver was like, I'm so glad you going over to that area because now I could stop at Creole. And he's one of my regulars. And he was like, keep doing your thing. Like, people really enjoy your food.
Yeah.
And that is a love language for me to say, you know what, I am interacting and I'm touching people without having to physically touch them.
Yeah, I think it's a real joy.
Yeah.
Well, you guys have gotten a little glimpse into us, what are our whys, why we do it, how we keep hustling, but we want to hear from you. You make sure in the comments to let us know what you're interested in. And of course, like, share, subscribe so you can catch up with everything new for Entrepreneur Badass.
See you next week.